When your morning starts, make sure to look around for the right company to serve you everything you need to know about what's happening around you. That's why you need VOP this morning, because we will climb this far to give you a voice in what's going on, from news, reviews, politics and the economy, sports and even entertainment. Join us weekdays 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on VOP TV. VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
Well, it's a beautiful morning it is, and we welcome you to VOP this morning, where we have quite a lot to talk about this morning. But we'll take it a step. Welcome on board. I'm Moses Humphrey. Forgot to do the proper introductions. Oh well, welcome once again.
All right, I'm Fina Okechukwu. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Nigeria.
David Edwin saying good morning to you. Well, it's a beautiful morning, and I bid you welcome this amazing. Is it Tuesday, Wednesday?
Okay, the rain actually that fell is beginning to make you forget that.
Did it rain in your place?
Yeah, it does. It does actually. It was a heavy rain, and believe me, I never knew it's going to rain, so I left the window open, and your sister in the Lord slept on. Wow. And middle of the night, so it was like someone like, you know, when you're dreaming, you're lying down in the shower, and maybe you're in the bathroom, and the shower is on, and the water was. I'm like, what's happening? We sprinkling water on me. For me to notice that my window is open, and the rain was actually coming in. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
Sweet one.
Okay.
All right, then. Well, we're not talking about the rains today. We'll be. There are other things that are raining, of course.
Exactly.
Government is raining more money on fuel subsidy. That's what we're hearing, according to el-Rufai. Well, that's a conversation that has been going on for quite some time now.
Right.
So it's really not. Shouldn't be too important who said it this time, because a lot of people have said that. But we'll talk about that one in the course of the program.
And also on our radar, the ADF declares Ndibo ready for the reconstitution of Nigeria's federation. These and more I will be looking at this morning.
All right, do well to follow us on YouTube. On YouTube, we are at Voice of the People TV, and on all other social media platforms, we are at VOP TV Live. Well, we have to first, at this point, take a very tiny short break. When we return, we'll be looking at what the dailies are saying, particularly the headlines.
I told you people I have something to talk about today, right?
All right.
Go ahead.
Okay, now see, there's something I come across, and this particular thing is happening here in Lagos, whereby some people, they are taking advantage of the fact that the economy actually is not smiling at this point in time, and they put out a job opportunity a lot for people, for Nigerians to apply for, and they do this actually at the highbrows of Lagos. They're somewhere in Lekki, in Ikoyi, you know those places where they believe that big people actually want to come down to. But now let me tell you something. All they do, I'm talking about these people now. They were arrested. Police actually arrested them. Oh, thank God you know about it. Now, what actually interests me about them is this. They will pick the people who fall victim to their in quotes, to their plans, take them, torture them, collect all the money that they have, even go as far as going to those people's residential home, pick all their properties, the ones that are very, very, the ones that they want, let's say valuable ones to them.
Wow.
And they select those that they attack, though. They select the people that they want to. And after that, they will indulge in
Carnal knowledge. Carnal knowledge. Even to men. They particularly target men. 8 of them have been arrested. We do know that some are on the prowl, but people should just be careful.
Exactly.
Be careful if you see job opportunities in places that don't seem like offices. It's better you don't even go. All right. And we also hear that they also take advantage of the one chance aspect.
Exactly.
Now, the story also has it that they drive exotic cars. So for those that like being given lifts, especially for the women, be careful. Because they're having carnal knowledge, and it's not through the usual, the usual pathway. It's good morning.
And one person actually was
It's
defending them,
an unusual
saying, thank God that they don't use people for ritual, they just have carnal knowledge. And that's actually what I don't even want to imagine. Please be careful out there anyway. I just wanted to bring that to our notice this morning.
All right, thank you very much, Fina, for putting that one out there, so Nigerians will be aware. Oh well, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll delve into the papers. Stay with us.
From the views on the street
We go to bed empty hunger.
to the blaring horns of a hustling city, the loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lodge.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and penchant for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents,
Corruption kills three things that makes a society.
representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people.
All right, welcome back. So now let's go into the papers, and we'd like you to come along with us. Do well to drop your views and comments underneath the live stream right there on YouTube. Voice of the People TV, that's how we appear on YouTube, and be part of the conversation. We'll take your views and comments during the course of the program, before the end of the program, actually. Well, we have joining us right here now, Lawale Kundayo, who is an educationist, a public affairs commentator, a farmer, and yes, a gentleman as well, a true African. And he's right here with us in the studio. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
All right, then. So let's dive into this one very quickly. The Punch newspaper is right here in front of me. So starting off with the Punch, the one headline reads: Vandalism worsens grid collapse as gas shortage slashes power supply. So there was another collapse of the grid. But TCN discos blame gas shortage, vandalism for frequent collapses. Firms beg customers. Interesting. TCN plans fresh investment in power infrastructure as grid collapses sixth time in 2024. Basically, sixth time in 4 months. All right then, one every month, twice in a
Just
month.
expect a collapse. Just prepare for a collapse.
So the grid basically takes time off every month to go chill.
Yes. To
And then we're being charged what now? Extra.
We are compensated with apology. Why they collect our
Because
money?
we don't even get the power. For those that are supposed to get 20 hours,
The
and those that
band
are
A, the band
they don't
A.
even get the power.
They don't even get it. And government keep increasing. And I begin to wonder, why are you increasing when this thing is not available? And the next thing the discourse will offer is apology. And they still collect the money.
And
They will not refund.
they are even shining light on the Electricity Act 2023. that stipulates jail term.
I saw it for power theft.
Yeah.
Whereas those the discos that are robbing the people every day, they go scot-free. The law gives them protection to continue to rob the people. And if you now contest it, you go to jail. Because you have the right not to pay. If you are not sure
if you are not sure of what you have in charge, you have the right not to pay. You have the right to complain. They now say no, you go to jail if you complain. Okay. If you do. Well, I see you came with the Nigerian Constitution. Does it have anything to do with the discos today? What do you want to point out there? Okay. We'll probably get to that one. All right then. Well, let's take some more headlines here. State police law amendment may take 2 years. Naira nears 1,000 naira at parallel market. Dangote modular refineries to pay naira for crude. Dangote, there was a video that showed Dangote refineries, trucks coming out loaded with diesel. So there is that news that they are distributing. They've commenced distribution around the country. Oh well, there you have the man of the moment, Donald Trump, right there in the pictorial there. I kind of like the guy.
I like that makes the three of us.
I like him. I mean, monitoring
You have to like him.
All right. Oh, well, the headlines beneath that one, we have Yoruba Nation lecturer defends participation. Police parade 21. Testimony backlash. Dunamis apologizes as Abuja testifier meets NHA wife. That wasn't an apology as far as I'm concerned. Romani, father kicks as coroner blames parents, doctor for teenager's death. I think as Christians, we should show more love, more empathy. I mean, talking about the Dunamis issue, I usually wouldn't jump on issues like this, but this particular one, I mean, it was demeaning to say the least. And for the lady wasn't asking that she be compensated. She wasn't asking for assistance. So I don't see why her testimony would be tagged a lie. She was only saying, look, God helped me. It took time. I mean, it was a part-time course, for crying out loud. And in that university, you can defer. If you feel, you're doing something else and you can't meet up exams, you can defer and go back to it. And for that to be tagged a lie, and we even forget that some people have stage fright. The fact that some people have been doing something, talking on stage for some time, and can address the crowd and speak good English, doesn't mean that another person, may face that same crowd and be as eloquent as expected. Exactly. They may not be that eloquent. Yeah. And people, we should learn to, take it easy on people. There are people that come here to analyze and their grammar may not be top notch, but are they making sense? Yes, they're making sense.
You understand them, that's all.
Exactly. And as far as you're making sense, we take the analysis.
I just honestly feel that he was so quick to have, judged him.
That was being judgmental.
I mean,
exactly.
My personal opinion, he was very, very quick because, yes, there are some persons that come up to want to testify in churches. We know how much a lot of it are a lie. Like, for instance, I saw a video of a particular woman who said she's not refilled her gas all through the year. So, I mean, when you juxtapose that with what the reality of life is, you just say, hey, come on. So I think he's just trying to...
So there was a time I didn't refill my gas the whole year.
You weren't cooking?
I wasn't cooking. I was a bachelor.
No.
I was a bachelor.
I'm talking about a woman with kids.
I know. But I was a bachelor.
Right.
I rarely cooked. I refilled my gas at the beginning of the year. And before I knew it, the day it ran out was in preparation for Christmas. I rarely cooked. So what if I had a sticker on the gas and I felt like, wow, it's been 12 months and I'm about to refill again from January till December. This is the Lord's doing. Would you call me a liar? Without getting the details of the fact that I ate out most of the time.
Well, if you
Or
choose,
you might even have
without
another
getting
means
that
to
detail.
Google
if you choose
it.
not to talk about the details, then there would be some questioning in that testimony.
What if I just say that? Oh, it's the Lord's doing. I mean,
No, I'm just saying. I'm just
and you didn't wait for me. You didn't ask
exactly
me questions.
that's
You
actually
didn't
where
ask me
I
questions
felt
or wait for me to give you the details.
that's exactly where I felt he
Then
was
should I
too
be called
quick.
a liar?
That's the part I felt he was too quick.
You know, when he
to
was actually
respond.
talking,
my own take on
take on
this
this.
is that, though you see, I'm not really getting into the story because it's not something really big. See,
No, it's something
if
big,
it
it's some, anyway.
if it is something that is personal to you, and you say it, faith, you get it, is something personal. What you believe is a personal thing to you. You may decide to trek from here to, like somebody who came from, I think, Europe down here, the governor. She can say, it's a miracle, I did it.
Yeah.
Well, why do you want to investigate that? If you believe it's not a miracle, you try it yourself.
You know what I think? I also think that people should learn to share their good news within family and friends.
It's what you feel. It's your faith. You talk.
As it becomes public,
As long as it doesn't disturb me, doesn't affect me, I'll leave you to what you said.
right.
Share your good news between your family and friends. Tell them, oh, this was what my God or my Creator did for me, and let them clap and rejoice with you, and you're good. You've shared, you've testified. You're good. Social media even makes it even better.
Yeah.
You can share. If you choose to lie, that's your cup of tea. For crying out loud.
Because it's a personal thing to you.
Yeah.
It's within you.
Right.
So why do I argue that?
All right, so these are the headlines here. We've basically touched on, and yes, the Aromani headline: the father kicks as the coroner blames parents, doctors for teenager's death. Well, the father, we've all, I don't know if you followed that story. Sylvester Aromani, the young man who was allegedly poisoned, killed. There were things, when the autopsy was conducted, certain things were found, like a black substance was found in him. Question is, was that tested? Did they ascertain what it was? The allegation was that he was, something was forced down his throat, but we didn't get, we don't have the details as to how that happened, and now the case has been, thrown out. It's quite unfortunate. The parents will have to deal with a child's loss. Another one died last year. The little girl that was electrocuted. I think is it additional. What's her name? What's her last name?
In secondary school, something.
Yeah. Yes. I think schools should be more careful with the lives of children kept in their care. They are not just monies, to be used in paying your bills. They are lives, and they are people's future. Parents are hoping that they will become something in life. That's why they are investing in them. So treat them as such. Treat them as valuable, as human beings, to say the least. Anyway, well, those are the headlines from the Punch newspaper. We do have time to dive into other headlines.
All right, let's just go straight to the Guardian newspaper, where the banner headline here reads, Households groan over food prices as inflation defies interventions. There are some pictures, of course, there is a major picture here of the president, the big names. Okay, let me use the word big names.
The president's men.
The president's men, yes. Who, of course, by the interpretation, are the ones that have sussed out this intervention. Okay, so let's move to some other headlines by the side of this pictorial here. Leveraging automation for prompt justice delivery system. Southwest leaders fault Oyo invasion as police parade 21 suspects. FG targets $15.7 trillion artificial intelligence market. Ward suspends Ganduje over alleged graft. States chapter kicks. The one we've been talking for a while now. National Grid suffers third collapse, worsen 20 hours per target. Support.
We're hearing conflicting reports there. This is I think we need to do, we need to, go back in time and check out how many times
it
has
collapsed
in the last 4 months.
4 months.
Because the point said 6 times.
6 times.
Yeah.
And
Or maybe they are
Guardian
counting the gravity of the collapse.
To collapse twice within a day. Sometimes.
Okay, yes.
While they are repairing, it can collapse again.
Okay.
You are just test running, so you just count it as one of it.
A different, okay.
All right. Still giving you more headlines. Support Tinubu or quit. Matawale tells federal appointees from North. Baker bags life jail for defiling neighbor's daughter. Court attributes Sylvester Oromuni's death to parents, doctors' negligence. BCDC orders soldiers to leave Bokos as death toll hits 30. BCDC orders soldiers to leave Bokos as death toll hits 30. Well, those are the headlines right there in front of the Guardian newspaper. Mr. Lawal, at this point, you want to react to any?
Yes, initially we're arguing this Matawale statement that you quit or you support.
Yes, before we came on the air.
On the air. He said you quit or you support. And some people were frowning at that. Even my lady here was frowning at that. It's supposed not to be. But I was telling her that it is normal for him to say that. Because if you are appointed, the person who appoints you expects you to follow his vision and policy. So if you are not okay with the vision and his policy, you can't go along with you are not okay with it. Or maybe you present something to him and he doesn't go along with it. The best thing is for you to quit.
And the best
yes, when you quit, it shows that one, you don't go along with that person's ideology, and the person does not go along with your own. But in Nigeria, every time there's an appointment, people think the next thing that comes to the mind of the appointee is that, this is an opportunity to eat my own national cake. You get it? And they just sit put there, and then they just business as usual. And at the end, if anything happens and they leave that place, that is when they will now begin to speak. And then you'll be wondering, when you were there, did you show your grievances? No. You were enjoying the national cake, so please keep quiet. Now, if you know that you are not okay with what he is doing, or he doesn't go along with you, or maybe you present something, he doesn't accept it, and you think that thing is the right thing to be done, the only way you can show the whole world, you get it, that you don't go along with it,
is to step aside.
Step aside.
All right, so what do you think about the bold headline there from The Guardian? Households groan over food prices as inflation defies interventions. Government is doing something. The naira against the dollar is coming down to about 1,000 naira to $1. But regardless of that, and this is from what now? 1,900, almost 2,000 to a dollar. It has come to about 1,000 to a dollar. But food prices are not going down.
There's something with this. We argued last time.
You and David?
Yes.
Okay.
That we were saying that the reason why the dollar is appreciating and naira is depreciating is because Nigeria is not producing. It's not producing. You know, we're arguing this here that time. Yeah. Now, I want to ask you, what do we start producing within this short time that makes the naira, to start to appreciate so much? Can you tell us?
You are the guest. You are the guest.
Because we're arguing it. You know why? Let me tell you something.
But it's not far-fetched, really, because at this point, we understand that Cardoso and his team are pumping the dollar. They're pumping a lot of money to make sure.
That means you have agreed with what I was saying.
No.
You have just disproved yourself.
That does not mean that Nigeria is a producer.
Why you bring it up?
No, you know why? Because it's the thing is fresh now. You know why? Because I was telling him that it is not because we are not producing.
Yeah.
The reason is because of some government policies. So they have to retract back their policies. That's why you see some appreciations. You get it? It's not because we are not producing.
But the bottom line is, this is not reflecting in...
I'm still coming to that. You know, there are so many government policies. So government retrace some of them, retract some of them, and then we see some effect.
Okay.
Now, there are some others that government need to adjust so that we can begin to see it materializing in the lives of common Nigerians. But the government has not started doing that. For example, the issue of increasing electricity. Why do you have to increase the band A again? Where you know that our life is tied to two things, electricity and fuel. Now, Dangote is going to start selling his fuel, diesel, at international price in Nigeria. How? Because the government is going to sell to him in dollars. Government is selling crude oil to him in dollars. So now look at Dangote is in Lagos. This exploration is in Lagos. The distance between where they are taking the oil to where Dangote is going to refine it is a stone throw. I can track it in a day. And the government within the country is selling at international price to Dangote. You get it? And that means that you are not telling Dangote to put a high price on his own. And you know that these food stores, for example, let me take Gari for example. If you want to, many of the processing of Gari has to do with diesel. You have to grind it, you have to fry it, you have to take it to the processing factory. The same thing with the rice. The same thing, so many commodities, even fufu, all these staple foods depends on diesel to run. Now, Dangote will now sell at 1,225. You now see that the dollars is reducing now. Why is it that we are not feeling it in the lives of now? Because other things are supposed to go along with it. You get it? Are still being tightened. So that's why we are not actually really feeling it now. And the second thing is that some people are saying that what they have in store, they have to sell it. But that doesn't affect something like what is produced in Nigeria. It's supposed to affect something that is imported, not what is produced in Nigeria, such as Nigeria made rice, Nigeria made gari. I don't know, maybe China is producing gari for us now. Or Nigeria made fufu. But we have branded fufu in gari, imported from China. I don't know. Because everything is imported from here.
So what I want to find out from you now is, do you see this reduction, or well, appreciation rather, of the naira to the dollar? Do you see it as being sustainable?
That's another thing I was arguing with a guy some 2 days ago. Is that because the government borrowed more dollars to flood the market with dollars. Yeah. Now, when that one is exhausted, what is the next thing? All right, that's the question.
Well, unfortunately, we are out of time and we have to wrap this up. So thank you very much for your thoughts here. But we'd like you to stay with us as we go into a major talking point this morning.
Former Governor of Kaduna State, Nasir el-Rufai, reveals that the federal government now spends more on fuel subsidy than before. Details when we return after this quick break. The former governor of Kaduna State, Nasir el-Rufai, has stated that the federal government is currently spending more in trillions on fuel subsidy than it did in the past. El-Rufai applauded the government and took a swipe at the critics of President Tinubu's administration, accusing them of hasty judgment. This statement comes amid a report by the National Bureau of Statistics that Nigeria's inflation rate surged to 3.20% in March 2024. representing a 1.5% point year-on-year increase from the 31.7% recorded in February 2024, making it the 8th time that the inflation rate has risen since the commencement of President Bola Tinubu's administration on May 29, 2023. Also, the Naira appreciated to 1,000 per US dollars on Monday and is expected to appreciate further below the 1,000 per dollar mark during the week. However, despite the positive shift, many Nigerians question if the appreciation of the Naira is because the federal government may be supporting the Naira. They also express concern that the Naira's appreciation has not significantly impacted the price of goods and services in the country. All right, we still have Mr. Lawal Ekundayo, who is an educationist and a farmer in the studio with us. And we also have Mr. Chris Paul Otaigbe, who is an international chief correspondent and project director at Frinta TV based in UK. Good morning, Mr. Chris.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
All right. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Great. Good morning, everybody.
Okay. I believe you've actually joined us or you've been part of the program to this point. But exactly, what do you make of this word by the former governor of Kaduna State that the president, or rather that the Nigerian government is still subsidizing fuel? The money, according to him, actually is amounting to trillions, even after the government have said we are no longer doing fuel subsidy.
Look, this is an area that I've followed for a long time, and I have the pride, by God's grace, to say that at some point I pushed an advocacy when they were still playing ping pong with Dangote's refinery, that NNPC should, through the federal government, through the NNPC, should support the Dangote if they really wanted a fix to fuel subsidy, fuel scarcity, and everything, because Dangote obviously, largely, along with the other smaller ones, but at least he's the one we're seeing, he is the solution right now. He's the pragmatic, they were using pragmatism. He is the pragmatic solution to our fuel issues, even our foreign exchange stress. Dangote is, because I followed it. That guy is producing 650,000 barrels per day, man. NNPC has invested 20% into that concern. What's the 20% for? Is it on behalf of some corrupt individual or on behalf of the country? Because the money belongs to the country. So if you put 20% there, it meant that it's supposed to serve Nigerians. So all this one that I recall that el-Rufai, when he was governor of Kaduna State, he headed a committee of some of his governor colleagues under Buhari to look at fuel subsidy and all of that. And his committee came up with a recommendation at the time that only 300 naira per liter will solve the problem. Today we are saying something.
Well, we do know that the times of the indices at that time is quite different from indices at this time. Now,
listen, my brother, all that's a lie. It's all a bloody lie. At that time, yes,
why so?
People could still, I will explain to you, people could still argue because Dangote was not on stream. Dangote is on stream. Nobody else has any excuse. Nobody, no government has any excuse to suffer Nigeria any day more.
But you also do realize that Dangote is a private individual who's doing business.
That's another lie they tell you. That's another lie they tell you.
Why do you consider that a lie? You think
let me tell you
government
now,
investment is a lot more than we understand it is?
Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Please open your mind and let us open our senses, okay? These people are always trying to relocate our senses, our sense of logic and rationality from our brains. It shouldn't work. Well, it doesn't work with me, Chris. Let me tell you. I just started by saying NNPC pumped 20%, invested 20% of its shares of money into Dangote refinery. Is that not the private concern? Why would government do that? Okay, they've done that. You ask them, why are they doing that? Is it not on behalf of Nigeria? What is the objective? Is it not to use leverage on his refinery to as a gap to feed Nigerians with fuel at cheaper price? All these things they are telling you, he's selling at international price. Don't forget, early this year or thereabout, they were telling you that, oh, NNPC is giving, or federal government has approved 1 million barrels of crude to Dangote. They didn't tell you that time that they were selling to Dangote. And indeed, I can tell you for free, perhaps they did it. They can tell us a lie. They can say they may not admit it. But the truth of the matter is that Dangote was supposed to save us over $17 billion per year in foreign exchange. Over $17 billion per year. Now, secondly, like my friend just said there, Dangote is what did I say Badagry? He's in Lekki there. The oil is exploring is in Nigeria here. So a normal government, if I not a normal, every normal human being.
But you also do realize that at some point, NNPC had to import crude for Dangote refinery to refine.
My brother, we all agree that operations in the oil industry is opaque. If it's opaque, it will be subject to every interpretation. It can only be opaque because there's corruption behind, because they don't want to hear you to know something. If I can tell you so much about NNPC and the corruption going on, both the ones who know
go ahead.
and the
We'd like to hear. We'd like you to educate us. Go ahead.
Okay, let me educate you, if you hear me out. Before Dangote refinery came, now here is one lie they have been telling you for decades. They tell you, oh, we are paying fuel subsidy. Fuel subsidy is landing cost. The difference between the cost of bringing the fuel from where they went to refine it and the cost of selling it to the Nigeria, and so the federal government bridges the cost. That's a lie. Let me tell you why. Number one, even let's look at it before Dangote. Federal government, NNPC does not pay one dime. One dime. Other NNPC, in fact, NNPC even gained at the time when it was importing the fuel from abroad. Why? Because NNPC will give crude from Escravos or wherever it is, all right? The only cost to NNPC is the crude cost. From there, they take it into the ship of the man refining it. They don't pay the guy a dime. The guy, in fact, does not want money from NNPC. He just needs the crude. So when he takes the crude to his refinery, listen to me very well, he will refine, he gets paid with your crude. Why? Because he knows that out of over 20 derivatives you can get from crude oil, your NNPC officially, of course we know it's a lie, is asking for him to give them petrol, diesel, or maybe kerosene. 3 out of over 20. So the 17 is up from the other 3 are the refiners to sell. That's how he makes his money. So because of that, NNPC tells him, from your refinery to Apapa port, you bear the cost. And indeed, the guy will bear the cost with pride. So NNPC does not pay any dime till that thing last in Apapa. What is the landing cost there? That was a lie. That was a blatant lie. So a subsidy never existed. So if you just suppose that with Dangote, you just know that, in fact, they've told the lie
of the century. Okay.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
I feel your passion. A lot of Nigerians are passionate about this as well, because I mean, it's our natural resource.
You can see now. But you can see Kama. You can see Kama catching up with federal government.
But
they can't track their inflation.
I appreciate this education that you've given, but unfortunately, you're not presenting or citing evidence to back it up. So it's your word against that of NNPCL. You do realize that it's...
No, my brother, it's in public space. It's in public space.
Great. Well,
let me tell you. Sorry. Let me tell you. It looks like I'm talking about, but I have to educate you here. I'm not just citing. How do I know that they take their crude from West Coast, give it to ship? In fact, they even force the refiner to patronize NNPC ship. half of that consignment will go to NNPC so that they pay NNPC. NNPC even make money in the process of sending the crude to the guy's refinery.
All right, so how then, Chris, please, how then do you react to the fact that at some point this government have said, look, since the removal of subsidy that you said did not even exist, they have saved a certain amount of money, which they have now, given to governors due the federal allocation, from the federal allocation, so governors can better administer their states and cushion whatever effect the removal of subsidy may have on the people. And now we are hearing that government is paying a whole lot more than they were initially paying. Yes, you may. Go ahead.
But my brother, it's all a lie. Thank God for Abacha. I thank God for this point you brought about, taking the different, what they made from subsidy and giving it to people. During Abacha, of blessed memory, Abacha is now a saint to all these demons, even right from Obasanjo. Listen, Abacha, when he increased fuel twice in his administration, 5 years, okay? The second time, he took the differential, I think about 4 naira, to establish PTF, if you remember, Petroleum Trust Fund. PTF virtually was running Nigeria. How? Why? Because it was in health, it was in education, it was on roads, he was building roads, he was building hospitals, he was building schools, it was affecting people's lives. So all over Nigeria, that was 4 naira. So now, if you say you want to judge and you want to look at that matrix, 4 naira per liter forming a PTF. So if you bring that down, are you with me?
Yeah.
How much is it now? Is it about 500 or thereabout? The price by fuel in Nigeria. Can somebody correct me?
Well, it's 600
660.
Oh,
599 and 640.
Let's even say 600 naira. That is 120 PTF. 120 PTF, meaning that every state in Nigeria can have as many as 3 PTF. Nigeria will become more than Dubai today. Even as it is, if they were using that fuel subsidy money that they say they are giving to themselves to share, we will have, each state in Nigeria will have become a Dubai. Because 1 PTF alone for one state can clean up that state. I'm not even talking about any other money. So look, all of these things that, let me tell you again. There's an international connection to this. Some of the conditions IMF and World Bank give to these people, I don't want to call them bad names on air, is that they must remove fuel subsidy, which doesn't exist.
Now, that's another thing. The conversation as to the government listening to IMF, taking advice from IMF. A lot of people have said this is going to run the country aground.
Yes.
You seem
in fact,
to agree
what
to
you will know, how you will know that IMF is evil and what bank is evil to us is that, okay, they are saying remove fuel subsidy. If they really meant it, why wouldn't they address the corruption on behalf of federal government? Why would they? Have they ever asked them? Have they ever told government, okay, when you remove fuel subsidy, Dangote is there now. Please patronize Dangote and use it for your country. They won't do that because they don't mean well for you. Number 2, okay, because they say there is fuel money is being funneled into private pockets. Are the private pockets in hell or in heaven that we can't track them? Federal government cannot track them. If federal government can track the Kaduna and track a Sunday Bowl, can they don't track people in Nigeria who are stealing the money?
Okay, now before we have a studio guest, we'll come back to the studio guest, but let me ask you your thoughts on the modular refineries. The government seems to have been clamping down on modular refineries in the past few months. Some have said it's the people taking advantage of the resources within their domain to better their own lives. What are your thoughts, really? Should government invest?
Let me tell you. my thought is this. You don't go far. This is an area I love. I can die here.
I can feel your
because
passion.
people are criminals. Let me tell you. Maybe you are talking about the militants in the Niger Delta refining the fuel, correct?
That's inclusive.
No, modular refinery is more legit. So if they are clamping down on modular refinery, that's new to me. Because that is what Buhari and the rest were using. Oh, when there is a fuel crisis, we will build modular refinery, modular. And then when things calm down, modular disappears. Listen, let me start with the militants. I know, as a journalist then in Nigeria, that I advocated that these militants, they are even doing a service that Nigeria is failing to do. Okay? What are they stealing? They are stealing small now compared to the ones those criminals in NNPC towers are stealing. So they are only stealing to survive and survive make their community survive. If you go to Niger Delta, you could buy fuel at 50 naira per liter, and that fuel will not knock your engine. Let me shock you. During Jonathan's era, when they were doing round tripping with fuel, whatever, they will collect money, allocation, they won't go import the fuel. Some people even imported the fuel, were carrying their tankers to Niger Delta for those boys to fill and bring it and lie that they brought it from abroad. So those boys in Niger Delta were really working. Maybe they were using the wrong whatever. But even I thank God that Oshibajo, former vice president, Professor Oshibajo, when he was a star, then when he was acting president, he went to Niger Delta. He said this thing. He validated my advocacy. Those are the right things to do. But they won't do it. You know why? So that people, all these thieves, big thieves in the downstream sector, in the downstream sector, so that these people in the downstream sector can be profiting. They are the ones sending them after these boys in the Niger Delta, not the federal government. They will pay the army and whatever, and go, and then they will come and tell you, oh, we destroyed 10 refineries, 100 refineries of militants.
Okay, then let's come to the studio guest. Meanwhile, we'd like for you to steady your camera because it's been shaky. So let's give you time to do that. Let's give you time to do that, and then we'll come back to you and get some more. All right,
yes, I love what he's been saying so far, but there's no bottle. I just want to look at it from two angles.
Go ahead.
Right. Go ahead. The modular refinery, the one they call the illegal refinery, and they're destroying. And the World Bank have been saying this over and over again that Nigeria is the one, making decision in World Bank. That's the code well, am I right?
Okonjo-Iweala is with the WTO, World Trade Organization. World Trade Organization.
World Bank is different from
World Bank is different. World Trade is different.
Okay. Now, what I'm saying is that these decisions, you get it. Yeah. You see, some Nigerians are in these World Banks and all this IMF and all this this and that, and then when they get to those areas, I don't know, maybe they forget that love for the country and begin to go along with whatever the other foreigners want. And you get what I'm saying? That's one aspect that worries me a lot, because each time you put somebody else there from outside that is not Nigerian, that are part of the decision maker, you see the way they favor their countries.
Now let's look at.
Then, sorry, sir, I'm coming to that refinery.
Okay.
All right.
When they were destroying those refineries, and even up to now they are still doing it, I begin to wonder that I myself, I may not refine as perfect as this, but I can do refinery, because we were taught this thing at schools, in our school in chemistry and physics. We did this refinery. So why do we have to take it abroad? If you see a Nigerian already doing this refinery and it's okay, why not give it the license? Government is like, now you are selling crude oil to Dangote. If you are selling 500,000 barrels of oil to Dangote to refine and sell, why can't I, you get it, go and buy like 5 barrels? Look at 5 barrels to 500. I can buy 5 barrels now and refine. You get what is wrong? Why are you blocking me?
As a modular refinery.
Yes, as a modular. Once you are going to tell me, okay, these are the criteria or rules and regulations you can for minimum requirement we expect from you. Throw it out. And there's glad that some people can build it and then they can refine 5,000 barrels of oil and then service a small area.
So why do you
just
think,
like you refine you do cassava or whatever?
Why do you think the government is not willing to support the modular refinery?
The reason I think is because when you create a bottleneck, you make more money when you create a bottleneck, because everybody is diverted towards that bottleneck. You get it? And then you have more mouth chasing little food, so you are expected people to pay more. That is what you have. So if you give one person or two the power to do this thing, from them you can easily make more money, because you can increase it. They have no choice. For example, when you look at the issue of cement, we have this thing as we have limestone. It's Nigerian property. Instead of the government to say, okay, the government will be in charge of, mining this limestone, so anybody can come and buy and, convert it to cement and sell. By then, you can control price. No, the government now, give it to some individual, give it to them. Okay, go and be refined, go and be taking it, and go and be doing. I remove my hand, just give me anything. Now, what happened is that the person has absolute control over the whole thing.
Okay. Now, my own question will be back to you, Mr. Chris, and this is as concerns Nigerians. Naira actually appreciates to be 1,000 as of yesterday in the market, or 1,015 Naira, but just from February to this month, inflation has actually risen from 31.7% that it was in February to 32.20%. And not just that, cost of food prices in Nigeria are still very high. Please, what do you have to say about this, sir?
I love the way you presented it. Oh, money as a dollar, Naira has appreciated to 1,000. Federal government is saying inflation is this. Oh, and then cost of food or inflation or whatever has continued to rise. I love what my brother said there. He said, for your money, for your currency to appreciate, to have value, you have to be producing. So he asked, what did we produce that now brought the Naira from 1,000 to 1,000, whatever they were putting it, to now 1,000 and coming down? It's all, look, these are all a lie. These are people who just make decisions at the whim, just to favor their own personal agenda. They have seen, or perhaps they are seeing, I hope, that there is a limit to which they can stretch this suffering through their unfounded policies, through their cruel policies. It is evident to them that there is no way to run, there is nowhere to hide. Okay? Because if you are going at the trajectory of their own, the spirit behind their policies, Naira should actually be 2,000 now. But they say that if they put it more than where it is now, today Nigeria, something may give. So they are being cautious. Now they are returning to fuel subsidy, which where the president came out the first day of his inauguration. Oh, fuel subsidy is gone. It's now gone, it's now back. What happened to it's gone? Who gave that fuel subsidy visa to come back to Nigeria? Because they've seen that it's unsustainable. They are not making sense. They have never made sense. In fact, this particular government have thrown sense into the dust, into the lagoon. So sense may never return until perhaps they are gone. Because look, I'm telling you, when Nigerians I've always told you, when they give you this open release or policy or whatever, look behind. What is behind? What's the drama? What's the back end drama? These people with their white allies are evaluating the situations. They are assessing the policies. So when they say that the thing is getting too much, oh yeah, reduce the tension, reduce. That's what you are seeing. Nothing is making sense. You can see now, I heard in your headline that inflation is defying a solution. Why won't it defy solution? Because even the solution, you have denied. You yourself, you are standing against the solution, thinking that your own warped demonic option of fakes is what will work for you. Of course, it won't work for you. Everything would have before your eyes now.
Now, Mr.
That's
Paul,
what is happening to this government.
Mr. Paul, I'd like to stay with you on this. Now,
yeah, I'm listening.
The president, the very first day of his inauguration, declared the subsidies gone. From several quarters, this subsidy situation have been raised again and again. Till this point, not one of the presidency or anybody in the presidency has come out to say this is a lie. What do you think would be attributed to all of this, and why are Nigerians not even talking to this situation?
Nigerians, my brother, Nigerians cannot talk for now. In fact, this election just shut everybody up and killed everybody's spirits. Okay, so if we couldn't talk, you know, we couldn't resist the brazen robbery, the unprecedented, uncommon brazen robbery that happened in election.
Should we now continue with this kind of situation?
We will continue until God himself intervenes in Nigeria. I'm sure they are waiting. That one, it will happen. But the truth of the matter is that just know this and know peace. There is no fuel subsidy. It's all phantom. It's all fake. No matter in whatever grammar they bring it, in whatever they bring it, and thank God, this government is unfortunate. Dangote is alive in his own administration. So, in fact, they are now saying he's paying trillions of naira per month on subsidy. Where? Are they paying Dangote? Even if they are buying from Dangote, are they paying Dangote landing costs? Or have they left the Dangote refinery and they continue their, what do you call it, their importation? Of course, no, Dangote is there. I know what they did to ensure that Dangote didn't start that refinery until now. Dangote should have started refining that slave, activated that refinery 2-3 years back.
Okay.
Yeah?
Are you saying it was a government intention to ensure that the refinery did not come upstream?
Of course. Why would they allow it to come upstream? Because some people in NNPC and their friends outside were benefiting from imports. So just before they allow Dangote to activate, they will have come sat him down in the round table, boy. You know, you two are part of us. We have been allowing you. Now allow us. So don't start this your machine until we are okay.
Okay, now
that's the back end drama.
Okay, let me get your thoughts on this as well. Just yesterday, we saw a video of trucks leaving Dangote refinery loaded with diesel for different parts, heading to different parts of the country, and but the diesel are being sold for about 1,200, 225.
Okay.
1,200 to 1,300. That's the range, depending on the quantity that you're buying.
That's about $1.1 plus, right?
About that.
Yes, about that.
So,
about that.
But Ipman is saying, since the issue of landing cost is being taken away, you should sell to us cheaper, as against selling to us for about 1,000, 1,002, 1,025, and 1,300. What are your thoughts on this?
Let me give you this scenario. And that's the scenario that will work anywhere in the world. All right? That's why Russia is not importing fuel. That's why Venezuela, until America invaded that place economically, was never importing fuel, was even exporting fuel, was even giving French fuel. Those are OPEC members, right? Gaddafi, Libya, used crude oil to ensure that every Libyan had a house, had a job. Every Libyan was even entitled to proceeds from the oil sale in Libya. He didn't borrow a dime till America invaded that guy illegally. He used crude oil. We are the only crude OPEC nation that is importing fuel. Now, God has given us Dangote. We are still talking grammar. Ipman is very correct. You see now, I'm not Ipman. Ipman is the institution in the industry. He's saying Dangote should be selling cheaper. They know what they're saying. It only makes sense that if Tinubu and his government, they are really correct, they really have Nigerians in mind that say, oh, I feel your pain, I feel your pain. Now, show how you feel our pain by prevailing on Dangote, you are the commander-in-chief. Indeed, more than anybody before. He is truly the commander-in-chief because he knows what he's doing. Everybody is beholden to him. From National Assembly to Judiciary to everywhere. So Tinubu owns the government, personally. So as the big don, he can say, okay, NNPC, which he was doing until they killed that media. He was saying, give Dangote 1 million barrels. They were giving Dangote 1 million barrels. When they were doing it, maybe they made a mistake. They could have told them, oh, we are selling to Dangote at the time. But they didn't. It meant that they were giving him free. They would have cited the 20% they gave. Maybe that would be our 20%. So give him 1 million. And they were giving him 1 million. So naturally, a government that is compassionate, that even rational, will have said, now that we have you in Nigeria, we are not paying foreign exchange to go and import anything. No landing cost, no nothing. And we're giving you crude oil at our own share in this thing. Meaning that you must sell at least 30% or 30% or 70% or 50% of your stock to Nigerians at an affordable rate. I tell you, and God would make somebody come validate this for me before in our lifetime. Nigeria, with Dangote now, Nigerians should be able to buy fuel at the worst case scenario, 100 naira per liter. If it's crude, if it's diesel, they should be able to buy it at the same rate, no more than 100 naira per liter. That's the worst that we should be able to buy this what do you call it, refined product from Dangote. Right. This is a national emergency now. What are you talking? Okay. So if it's a national emergency, government should thank God that they have a Dangote. Oh well. Let me also tell you. Yeah. Let me also tell you. Even when we were importing during this Professor Sam David West, thank God for that man. He said they had a similar scenario when he was Minister of Fuel of Petroleum, where Nigerians, when each time Nigeria wanted to turn around the refinery to repair it, and before they go to operation, they will engage Shell, an international oil company. Please take crude from our country, go and refine in your country, bring the proceeds, bring the fuel to us, and sell the excess. That was happening, and then Shell will sell the excess and bring the money from proceeds from that excess to Nigerian Federal Federation account. That's the second model for you on fuel subsidy or importation of fuel. So are you saying that Nigeria has died? That Nigeria never existed? Are we not still in the same Nigeria? Is it not the same crude oil? Is it not the same going to outsourcing refining of the product? Let's face the fact. These guys are crooks. They are criminals. They are just using, and then with their white allies, they are using the fuel situation in Nigeria and foreign exchange to dehumanize the personality of the Nigerian.
All right, then. That will be a good place to anchor that conversation. You want to add something to this before we flip to the next topic?
But that's why I said earlier that the ESCC, I mean, you have spent too much time on this Beta Edu case. Because this refinery, we have 4 refineries. The government is paying money into voting money into that refineries every year, and nothing is coming out of it. Is it not enough for ESC to have gone after that? What is actually going on there? Because if you are voting money into that refinery, there must be stars there, there must be contractors working. You get it?
And some are even saying, why is Kyari still heading NPCL?
Even not after declaring any profit after tax yet.
Yes, they didn't even remit. There's a time they didn't even remit anything for some time into the coffers of the government. Yeah. And the man is still there. And we are running after Edu as if that is the totality of it. No, what I'm saying that we have spent too much time on it. That place is already soft landing. You get, because we have seen so many anomalies to prosecute whoever you want to prosecute it. But that doesn't stop you from going after that refinery, because that refinery has a far bigger issue.
All right. Okay. Well, we've been speaking with Lawale Kundayo, an educationist, the farmer, and a public affairs commentator, and Chris Paul Otaigwe, an international chief correspondent at and project director, Affinity Television, based in the UK. Now, we'd like you gentlemen to stay with us as we go into another conversation now. The Ali Development Foundation says Indigo are ready for the reconstitution and renegotiation of Nigeria's federation. All right, we'll talk about this one when we come back from this break.
The Illegal Development Foundation, ADF, has declared the collective readiness of the 7 Igbo-speaking states in Nigeria for the reconstitution and renegotiation of Nigeria's federation through a new constitution. The ADF believes that the turmoil within the Nigerian federation serves as the foundation for the terrorism, banditry, and violence that currently plagues the country. They emphasize that the reconstitution and redevelopment of the Nigerian Federation are now essential to establish a fair federal framework grounded in social justice. They called on President Bola Tinubu to embark on electoral reforms and reform of the judicial system in Nigeria to avert the growing political anarchy in the land and restore the confidence of Nigerians. Well, still with us right here in the studio is Mr. Lawal Kudayo, who is an educationist, a farmer, and a political analyst. We also have virtually Mr. Paul Otaigbe, who definitely is an international chief correspondent and project director of Affinity TV based in the UK. Now, I'm going to come straight to Mr. Lawal on this one. This situation, what do you make of it? Now, I see you brought the Constitution in black and white to the studio, particularly maybe to take us through some education. Let's know what your position is on this particular situation.
See, like initially I was here with this constitution and I gave the genesis of this constitution.
That was sometime last year.
Yes, that it starts with a decree. It's done with a decree by a military head of state. It's a decree. It doesn't take
represents
into, it doesn't go round. It's just to favor some certain. That's why you see in Nigeria the president is absolute power. In fact, it has that absolute power. The moment you become president in Nigeria, you can arrest, even if the judiciary says no, you can go against the judiciary and do what you want to do. Nobody can handle you. So it's something that makes, is to favor some certain people, the elite. So the elite spend all their money resources to get into power. They totally take over everything. That's why in the constitution, apart from that decree, you see in the constitution again, you have a part in that talk about Sharia in the constitution.
But
you have,
show us.
Sir? Can I show you?
Oh yes, go ahead.
Why not? You see here in 260, you are going to see the Sharia Court of Appeal of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Okay.
Now, why do we have, sir?
You want me to read it?
Why not? You see, if you look at the criteria for being a member of the Sharia Court of Appeal, look at the second section, the first section here, second. You can read it if you want. This second and third year. This first and second.
Okay. First and second. That's which one now? Which one?
This no,
this one.
Down.
Yes.
This
one,
two. Mm-hmm.
Okay, this and this. Mm-hmm. Okay. He either has considerable experience in the practice of Islamic law, or he's a distinguished scholar of Islamic law. Mm-hmm. But how does that relate to the position of the Igbos now, saying that they are ready for?
Because why don't you have something like the traditional religion being having a appeal court today? Why do you have the normal court and then you have the appeal court? The appeal court is for countries, a country that is a Muslim country.
But this is specifically speaking to the Sharia court.
Yes, no, that's what I'm saying. Why do you have the Sharia court?
Territory, Abuja.
Yes, why do we have the Sharia court?
Okay, you have the opinion that would have actually established a Christian court or a traditional court.
Yeah, do you have all that? Do you have Christian court here that you have to be pursuant in the Christian law before you can? No, this is a secular country. It's a secular country, a country that is not a religious country. And then, so why do you have the Sharia there? If you look at the 15, this note, you know, if you look, you see the secular language, and then you see the Arabic under. So why are we not having something like the Igbo, the Yoruba, the other ones being represented here to let you know that this thing, you get it, the Constitution doesn't cover the aspiration of the whole totality of Nigeria. That is why we have this problem. Like I said earlier on, we have the Niger Delta. You get militants. We know what they are agitating for. What are they? They said that the crude oil exploration in their area has destroyed their livelihood. They have no other means. They have taken government to court. They have even gone to international court. They have gone to UK court. You know, taking government to court, taking the oil explorers, the companies, Shell, whatever, to court. So they have no other means. That's why you see they're taking up arms. Then tell me, why do you have the bandits taking up arms in the north? Have you ever come out in the court and say, okay, openly, we are taking government to court because of so and so reason. That is why we took the... They are faceless. To let you know that in their own place, too, they are complaining about the constitution, that the constitution, you get it, is not favoring them. That's why you see them taking up arms.
So
all this kidnapping and every other thing.
As it stands now, a lot of what binds us together as Nigerians seems to be weak, because a lot of aspects of the country are complaining about about the Constitution, about being together. Let me come to Chris now. Chris, thank you for staying with us. Now, yesterday, the story broke of certain individuals propagating a Yoruba nation agenda. They were apprehended. We have the indigenous people of Biafra doing theirs over there. And then we have what now? The Arawa. No, but they are not calling for secessionism. We have.
They are also agitating for something. They are not happy.
They are agitating for something.
Now, Niger Delta too.
We all seem to have, different aspects of the country agitating for equal share of the largesse in the country. Which basically tells us that we are not together. Now, the Igbo Association, Ali Igbo Development Foundation, they have come out to say, look, now we want to talk. Do they even are they considered, a force to be reckoned with? Bearing in mind that when the president was campaigning, well, this current president was campaigning, he really did not pay so much attention to campaigning within the southeast.
Let me tell you something. I would never stop at saying it. When you see all these things outside, look at what is happening within, behind. Who is alive? Yeah, it's been existing, but suddenly, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. No, it's not you now. It's the engineers here. Just needed them to increase the volume.
Okay. Oh God, I almost lost my thought there. So what I'm saying is, all these things are all dramas. Look, who's the Igbo? Suddenly he's speaking for the Igbos now. It's all a trick. You've had too much of IPOB. IPOB is a controversial organization now. So maybe the Igbos are now saying, let's present another one to speak our cause. Oh, look, all that thing is balderdash. Nigeria, I will tell you for free, is one united entity. It's a united country. We as people, one-on-one, we are united. That's why you can, in your street, you can feel no fear to buy suya from the malam down the street. That's why sometimes when you want to give your baby a treat, you take her to Calabar kitchen to eat a tikka icon. You are Igbo or you are Yoruba. Or that's why sometimes you feel pride in wearing Adire if you are from the south. We are united, damn it. This election even showed it to us that we are united. Is this politicians? Oh my God, I hope I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes, is this politicians that are causing it? Look, let me tell you. My brother was saying something about the president having too much power. So heck, who cares? Abacha had too much power that Nigeria was stabilized, man. Those who didn't have too much power or who had the equal powers they had in democracy, so-called, what did they do with us? Now, from Obasanjo when we resumed to now, he's been suffering, misery. Let's even go out of Nigeria. Look at Putin. Putin has absolute power in Russia. He brought Russia from rags back to riches from the destroyed Soviet Union. And today, he's even gathering back the countries that broke away, thanks to America. Now, Russia is stronger. And Putin is the strong man of Russia. Today, God is using Putin to stand against the evil of the West. And you are seeing that in Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali now. If you didn't know, now you are seeing that. So he has absolute power. Soviet Union is a country of countries. So now Russia is bringing them back. Okay, these are people, diverse ethnic groups coming together, and they are happy. Russians are happy to be Russia. They don't care for America that like you and I are caring for. I don't even care about America, so I'm not part of that. So what am I saying? All these things, for crying out loud, is on good and bad, right and wrong, rule of law. Britain is operating on written constitution and they are living their lives. So constitution is not the issue. All these people doubting constitution, reform. We've done so many constitutional amendment conferences.
Well, people are talking about the constitution because the first phrase in the constitution, even is has been an issue of discourse for a long time, saying we, the people of Nigeria, Nigerians will tell you that we did not come together to formulate this constitution.
No. We have gone past that. What do you want to do? Okay, somebody wrote on behalf of you. Okay, he's a military man. Do you want to go and die? If you can't, what have you done about it? What can you do? So you want to stop your life until you reform the constitution? No. When you have the right leader, a benevolent leader, he will reform that constitution within in record time. Because you is not our problem. Let nobody distract you.
All right.
Now, that's not our problem.
All right. Back
it's
to
not a distraction.
Okay. Back to you now, Mr. Lawal Kundayo. When Mr. Chris was talking, he made mention of Sani Abacha. Though he was actually a military rule, but it was more like things were more better or more coordinated when he was in power till the democratic time that we're looking at now. Now, my question to you is this. The ADF were of the opinion that we should go back to the 1963 regional government, which our founding fathers actually championed, instead of operating what we have now. Do you think that going back to the 1963 regional government will actually be of a better way for us as Nigeria?
One thing about Abacha is that we are always talking about the pockets of good things that we experienced in the Abacha era. We are not talking about the other bad side of that administration that we know is inhuman. For
don't
example,
go there.
No, I'm just saying that. No.
Don't go there.
He's sharing his own view.
Let's
allow him share his view.
Yes, I'm just saying it. That we always we talk about, some people talk about Abacha as if it's
everything was fantastic during this time.
Nobody said everything was fantastic.
Now I'm just saying that so that let us face it that it is not. There are so many bad sides of Abacha that we know that is not right.
Human rights violation.
Very good. You get it?
What are the other bad things you want to talk about?
I'm just saying. I don't want to dwell about that too much.
All right then.
Now, before we got independence, there were a series of constitutional referendum before we could get to the one that we use for independence. That was why the moment during that time, see that the country was growing. Nobody was agitating for anything. In fact, we love to live together. During that time, we love to live together. When Awolowo, when the West and the East asked for independence, the North said they were not ready, that the West should continue to rule them. The West, Awolowo and Azikiwe, actually told the White that they must give the other people opportunity for them to convince them so that we can all go together because we are one. You can see that the unity of that time is not the unity we have now. Because during that time, there was a lot of referendums for them to have a system that put all of them together. How do you want to be ruled? You want to come together. How do you want to come together? They decided how they want to come together. That's why we have all this Mafasin's constitution, Literary's constitution, Richard's constitution. During that time, Nigerians were gradually being involved in governance. And the constitution were designed at each point. And that's why they called it referendum. Because they were deciding how they want to be ruled, how we want to be together, how we can live together, how can we live together. This is how that's why it became it became a region. You get it? Regionalization, in which everyone was going at their own pace and they assist one another. But now we don't have that. In the constitution here that we have now, all resources, is concentrated at the center. So that, like Niger Delta is complaining, if Niger Delta is controlling its resources and is paying federal government some amount, it will say there will be no agitation in that area.
Well, you do know that, in essence, Southeasterners have largely have said to be excluded from the governance so far. Now, they have the leaders of the Southeast have come out to say, look, let us align with the center so we can start enjoying the benefits of democracy. All right. And we also have the issue of Nnamdi Kanu and his agitation and the IPOB on one side with elders in the Southeast saying, look, if you don't have anything to hold this man for, let him go. Maybe this will restore peace to the Southeast. All right? We have that conversation. But for this organization now, the Aligbo Development Foundation, saying, look, we are ready to, come talk with you and let's see how we can work together. Are you saying, what exactly are you saying in this regard? Are you saying they don't have a right, or they don't have a, or they should be allowed to continue their agitation? What exactly is your point here?
International law says, you get it, things like this is legal. Is that not it? That's what international law says.
Things like what?
Like agitation. You want to sit. It's normal. But you have to follow a due process. Do a referendum. Do opinion poll. Do this and that. Do that and this. Now, this IPOP guy, Nnamdi Kanu, did not lift a weapon and is incarcerated. But like what they said, it's part of what they said, the Alaibu, that people who actually, the bandits in the north, who have killed so many people, you get it, you kidnap people, and when they were caught, you get it, they were given amnesty, they were even returned back, and then they even, absorbed them into the government. You get it? So now, they are now complaining. Okay. See, if you have a constitution, like we are all here, I am from the south, I'm from the west. Somebody is from the east, somebody is from the south. She has lived in the north before. You get it? She grew up in that area. We are all sitting down here. We are all chatting.
before we start the program, we'll chat among ourselves. We ever talk about anything? Because what binds us together here is by agreement.
That's exactly what Chris said. That the Nigerians are one. It's just
no. You don't get what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that what binds us together is an agreement. You didn't force me to come here, did you?
Right.
What binds us here is an agreement. So I'm happy to be here. But I didn't mean you force me here. I will not be happy. I'll make trouble here. That is what is happening. The constitution here, you get it, it's not something that we are.
But Chris is saying the constitution is not our problem.
It's our problem. I am saying it's our problem. Okay. You know why? Because, okay, look at this. Like he's talking about all this whatever, the UK and everything. You see that in UK itself, there was a time the Scottish, agitated that they wanted to break away from the UK. Is that not true? Mm-hmm. And they allowed them referendum. They went into their place, they voted, the people who voted that they want to remain with UK is higher than the people who want to leave, and they remain with UK. We still have others. We have Wales, we have North Ireland, we have all these people. Some broke away, some remain. And everybody is fine. You can come back, they may come back and join again. And say, okay, we want to join. Because there must be something that binds you together. There must be your agreement. You get it? Look at the one I'm using as an example. Okay, look at the Igbos. They are talking about the Central. If they have their resource control, nobody will talk about that. Because you will grow your resources, you will develop yourself. But some people will come from the Central, take your resources, they don't care what happens to your area. Have you been to where the limestone is being the limestone is taken from Ogun State? Have you been there before? Go and see that area. Do they even buy the cement at a cheaper rate? They buy it more expensive than outside.
Okay.
And then you are telling me that they are happy. Do you think they don't know what is going on? They are happy. Go and look at their land. Can you breathe very well in that area? You see the trees. You see dust all over the trees and the house and so many places, as if a road that you are doing and then you abandon. You see how that is what is going. Do you think they are happy?
All right, then we're pressed for time. Let's get Chris.
Okay, Mr. Chris, as you give us your concluding thought, I want to ask you just this. You can actually put everything together, maybe 1 minute or thereabout. You are of the opinion that the Constitution of Nigeria actually is not the issue we're having, but you pointed a finger to the governance or the government being the challenge we're having now. All right, my question to you this morning is this. Now that a particular region, I'm talking about the Southeast and the Igbos, come up with this notion of they are now ready for, don't forget the fact that they've been agitating, even what led to the Aburi Accord and what led to the Civil War, they've been agitating, for so many years now, till today. But now they have the opinion that, okay, we want the Constitution to be looked into, and also they are ready for renegotiation. Do you think this actually will help out if there's a reconstitution, a renegotiation? Do you think Nigeria actually will be more together, kind of?
Let me tell you, there will be no renegotiation. There will be no Igbo country. There will be no Yoruba country. They will continue to do the drama and dance they are doing. That is our story. That is the way it's going to be. Well, let me even address that. Everybody is agitating because of injustice to their own corner of the country. So that is justified. Well, is it justifiable? Not really quite, because everybody is Igbos, those who are stealing us blind and sabotaging the country, they are also Igbos now. Top Igbo people. You were saying about regionalism. Of course, regionalism is the best, but under these criminals, regionalism will go to the dogs as usual. Look, how you will know that regionalism will work, how you will know how it will fare. Look at what is happening today. In this so-called decrepit economy, look at OT in Abia, excelling. What is he doing right? Is he operating Abia from the United States, or is he operating Abia in Russia? Abia is in Southeast here now. There are his colleagues, the 4 other guys. What are they doing? Is it not the same Igbo people? So imagine if they were to become a region. You are now seeing what will happen. One person will be trying to work, maybe others will be sabotaging him, and there will be war in the region. See, that's not our problem. Our problem is neither ethnic nor religious, but social. You must know that and have peace. Number 2, Sorry, let me go back to Abacha. Sorry, just give me a bit of the time for you. Abacha, yes, you are getting propaganda against Abacha from America because Abacha remains the only president who was under sanction. And of course, the only crime you will commit under Abacha at the time was if you were hustling his position. If you want to remove him from presidency, you are in trouble. You will face you square head on. And of course, for the first time, Nigerians were coming out to say, we want to overthrow this guy. Who will not defend himself? What are you talking about? I am not, I like Abacha, but I'm not his extremist. I'm just being rational. Check him out and check now out. Today out. 5 years, Abacha stabilized exchange rates. 5 years, he stabilized fuel price. 5 years, he stabilized the country. There was security all over the place. If there was insecurity somewhere, it was fueled by his boys.
But
we all knew that.
You're not talking about the fact that he made Nigeria maintain a printed mint to make money for him that he stashed away privately.
Okay, my brother, let me quickly just address that and go and finish my thoughts on the regional, the constitutional thing. Okay. See, okay, let's even assume he stole Nigeria blind. But Nigeria of its time is far, far better than today. Ask Nigerians, would you like a government under which you buy fuel at 11 naira or 12 naira per liter today, or the ones we have today with democratically so-called buy 600? Nigerians will immediately tell you, take me back to 1995 or 1994.
Well, probably. But the indices are
not probably. They don't care.
Let's also bear in mind.
Anyway, so sorry, back to the constitutional issue so that I can round up.
Let's also okay, go ahead.
As far as I'm concerned, look, when I say constitution doesn't matter, I'm not saying that throw the constitution away. Nigerian constitution, we all know that is flawed. So for you to reform it, you need a strong leader, a dedicated leader to work on it, to get people to work with it. Work on it and reform it, do whatever it is you want. If, for instance, I look, allow me to use, I love Putin a lot. I'm a fan of Putin. If Putin, what am I talking about? Forget Putin. Go to Burkina Faso, Traore. He just took over that country how many years ago? Today, he's a star.
All right.
Are you telling me that they don't have constitution?
All right. So we have to end this conversation now. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
We are out of time. But we thank you very much for coming on the program. Thank you very much, Chris Paul Otaigbe, International Chief Correspondent and Project Director, Affinity Television in the United Kingdom. And big thanks to you also. You want to have concluding thoughts?
Yes, if you allow me.
A minute, please. A minute.
Okay. Now, what I am suggesting is that let's do opinion poll.
Okay, opinion poll.
Yes,
actual opinion poll.
Yes, across the country and see what the people are saying.
Okay,
you get it. Let us have a referendum.
All right, then. Thank you very much, Lawale Kundayo, an educationist, a public affairs commentator, a farmer, and yes, thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you.
We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll delve into business, sports, and entertainment.
From the views on the street,
we go to bed empty hunger,
to the blaring horns of a hustling city. The loudest voices of the common man got a medium to be heard.
This particular administration, they were coming unprepared.
It's not a bad thing to renovate the president's lodge.
Through top-notch programming, unbiased reportage of news, sports, business, entertainment, and cultural documentaries, Voice of the People 90.3 FM became a symbol for 21st century media. And now, a new baby is born. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV, youthful, full of vigor and penchant for excellence in the continent's media space, exposing the wrongs, applauding the rights, dissecting the news without fear or favor, through factual and accurate stories and contents.
Corruption kills three things that makes a society.
Representing the interests of the people and giving them a voice. Voice of the People TV is here to stay towards building a fair society. VOP TV, Voice of the People Television, truly a voice for the people. When your morning starts, make sure to look around for the right company to serve you everything you need to know about what's happening around you. That's why you need VOP This Morning, because we will climb this far to give you a voice in what's going on, from news, reviews, politics and the economy, sports and even entertainment. Join us weekdays 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on VOP TV. VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
All right, welcome back. So let's get into the world of business now. The Nigeria's inflation rate surged to 33.2% in March 2024, marking a notable 1.5% increase from the previous month. The uptick, driven primarily by escalating food and beverage costs alongside energy and housing expenses, underscores growing economic challenges. Year-on-year, headline inflation climbed by 11.16%, with food inflation reaching a staggering 40.01%, exacerbating concerns over affordability and household budgets. The data highlights pressing issues for policymakers as they seek to address inflationary pressure and safeguard consumer welfare. All right. Well, another business story on our table this morning is from the Lagos State government. Well, the Lagos State government has initiated a 3-month amnesty window for property owners to obtain planning permits for completed buildings effective from May 2 to July 30, 2024. Well, the amnesty program aims to streamline regulatory processes and enhance urban planning initiatives. Property owners and developers are encouraged to obtain a perfect their planning permit without incurring statutory penalties. The initiative aligns with efforts to promote sustainable development and improve compliance with building regulations across the state. All right, those are business stories for you at the moment. Join us again at 10 a.m. For more business stories. All right, we'll take a break and then entertainment will be served to you. Chisom Inaya is right here in the studio to take you into the world of entertainment. We'll be back in a bit.
It's still VOP This Morning on VOP TV. We have Chisom Eninaya in the studio for the entertainment news. Good morning, Chisom.
Good morning, Tina. Good morning,
Good morning,
everyone. Yes, thank you. All right, so let's get right into entertainment. Ebuka Obi-Uchendu and his wife, Cynthia, have shared a unique approach to resolving conflict in their marriage. Now, they revealed that no matter how intense their disagreements may be, they always choose to stay in the same room regardless. Ebuka emphasized the importance of being around each other and communicating when resolving issues as a couple. He also advised couples to learn to talk about everything, adding that your egos might get in the way sometimes, especially when you feel like you are not the one who did wrong. But with calmness and open communication, everything will be fine. Mr. Moses, you're married, so share your thoughts on this.
There's no one size fits all.
Yes.
There's no manual.
Okay.
What works for, I mean, if you have somebody with an abusive tendencies, you want to sit in the same room. If you have somebody who doesn't stop talking, if you have a wife or a husband who doesn't stop talking regardless, are you going to sit in the same room and the person keeps going blah, 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 blah? You lose your mind.
Exactly.
You'll run mad. So everybody is now a counselor, marriage counselor. Basically, in a relationship, find out what works for you.
Yes.
In that relationship, in that marriage, and build up on it. Yeah, there's no manual to say, okay, there's an 1, 2, 3 rules on. No, I don't believe in that.
Now here is the only institution that gives you certificate before you start the process. So look at what works for you, anyways.
Okay, all right. Well, that's all we have on entertainment this morning.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much. So when
you.
we come back, in fact, let's quickly take comments now from our YouTube page. Yes, we have Ola Adewale. He says, solution to the problems facing the country is at the fingertips of leadership, and until they deem it fit to actuate action, status remains same or they are complicit.
Okay, from Ola Adewale, is the government playing the more you look, the less you see economy on Nigeria? Here we go again with the Olegba gamesmanship.
Don't say it like that. Don't say it like that.
Oh, is that how I was going to say?
That's terribly done. Terribly said. Olegba.
Okay, Olegba
Right.
gamesmanship, and remember, it is working for them.
All right, Oladewale is still, here. He said, do you know Nigerians can unlock the gamesmanship the career thieves play in the Nigeria bastardized Babasokwe Bobo? Interesting one there. Well, thank you so very much, Ola Adewale, for always being a regular on The Breakfast Show. We do appreciate you. Of course, we know you are here, and that's why we are here, and we are hoping that you consistently keep, sharing your thoughts. All right, let's take a very tiny little break. When we return, sports will be up next. Stay with us.
Audio Jungle.
All right, let's talk some sports. Now, the first of its kind boxing award ceremony will be held in Lagos, organized by Yucateco Boxing Promotions in collaboration with the Ministry of Sports. Now, this event, in line with the Sports Minister's Gender on Athletes Recognition and Appreciation, has been conceived by Yucateco Boxing Promotion. Now, the organizers of Nigeria's inaugural boxing league, according to Omole Yakubu Imadu, the CEO of Yucateco Boxing Promotions, the award aims to celebrate and recognize Nigeria's boxing heroes, including boxers, referees, judges, and others who have contributed to the growth of boxing in Nigeria over the years. The awardees for this year's event include notable figures such as Lieutenant General Kenneth Minima, retired, late Hogan Bassi, Isaac Ikuria, Sabo Mohammed, Anthony Kogie Washe, Lawal Lukman Olaiwola, Edith Agu Ogoke, Joseph Mensah, Ajani Aremu, Abdullahi Masha, Samson Arosiola, and Adesoya Olusegun Ayodele. The Maiden Yucateco Boxing Lifetime Achievement Merit Award ceremony is scheduled for Friday, April the 19th at Ikeja GRA Lagos, commencing at 6 p.m. Well, moving on to some other sports, of course, the king of them all, talking football. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar believes Arsenal can still have a chance of winning the Premier League title despite their disappointing home defeat to Aston Villa on Sunday. The Gunners were beaten 2-0 by Unai Emery's side at the Emirates Stadium, a result which dented their title aspirations. Goals from Leon Bailey and Ole Watkins condemned the North London side to their first Premier League loss since New Year's Eve. It also means that the Premier League title will be lifted by Manchester City for the 5th time in 6 seasons if they win their final 6 matches. Atiku has, however, backed Arsenal to bounce back from the defeat and fight for the title until the end of the season. Arsenal now face a defining week as they travel to Bayern Munich on Wednesday with their Champions League quarterfinal tie poised at 2-2 before a difficult trip to Wolverhampton Wanderers at the weekend. But that's about it for sports. Interestingly, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar is an Arsenal fan. Okay, that's about it for sports. Well, I don't want to ask Moses what club side he supports because I know what I'm going to get afterwards.
I'm an Arsenal fan, so Atiku and I are on the same table. I may not watch all their matches, but
wow,
I'm an Arsenal fan. That's what it is.
For the first time in a long while, he has come out to say
he's a gunner.
For life.
Wow.
Gunner for life.
Wow.
Okay.
This will go down in memory lane. Memory lane that Moses has.
Oh, yes, I have. I've always had
it.
Yeah.
It's not like us that don't have any club support. Any winning club.
You're not
goes.
faithful.
Any winning club. Goes.
All right, that's the show. That's the show for today.
Well, that's about it from me. Thank you very much for being here. David Edwin is my name, and I'm saying do have a beautiful day ahead.
From Fina Okechukwu, enjoy the rest of your day and try to be a patriotic citizen. On top of the hour at 9 a.m. is the news on VOP TV.
All right, do well to follow us on other social media platforms. On YouTube, we are Voice of the People TV. And across social media, we are at VOP TV Live. I'm Moses Humphrey, wishing you a beautiful day. Bye for now.